It all started on a Tuesday, when Dr. Eleanor Carter stepped off the Northern Line at Old Street with a slim black case and a promise, a machine meant to make memory admissible. Dr. Carter, a neuroscientist at University College London, had spent 8 years building what she called the Mneme Recorder, a wearable array that could map minute electrical patterns in the hippocampus and render them as a visual reconstruction. Police on the continent had expressed interest. Britain wanted proof. On January 25, 2023, she met Metropolitan Police officers in a converted warehouse in Shoreditch to demonstrate the device. That evening, a raid on a private gallery 2 streets away turned into a headline. The gallery owner, Tomasz Kowalski, was found dead beneath a shattered sculpture. CCTV feeds showed an empty street. Witnesses recalled arguing voices. Yet nothing matched. Security footage had a 47-second gap and 3 nearby phones recorded silence. Detective Inspector Amir Patel led the investigation. Patel had handled cyber-enabled fraud, but never a case where the central piece of evidence could be someone's own remembered sequence. The Mneme Recorder was proposed to reconstruct Kowalski's last 10 minutes by recovering the neural echo in a shaken witness, gallery assistant Maya Singh. What Dr. Carter demonstrated in an old street lab that week was simple on paper: replay the patterns, generate a timeline. The reality, the trial would later show, was messier. The device produced an image, a man in a navy coat, backlit, striking the sculpture. Maya's memory matched. The prosecutor, Rachel Ng of the Crown Prosecution Service, presented the reconstruction to the Old Bailey as corroboration alongside bruises on the assistant's wrist and fibers from a coat. The man arrested was Luca Moretti, an Italian expatriate with a criminal record for art theft, found on the night 2 blocks away with glass in his shoes. But defense counsel argued the Mneme footage was not evidence but manipulation. A counter-expert from King's College London demonstrated subtle inconsistencies. The recorder's algorithm smoothed gaps with likely imagery, and similar devices could be fed synthetic neural priors that warped reconstructions. In custody, Moretti's alibi shifted when a second witness's Mneme playback showed a different assailant entirely, a technique later labeled frame extrapolation. Forensic audit teams from UCL and the Met found the technology had been tampered with. Someone had injected a prior, a stored template of a navy coat and a particular gate that the algorithm preferentially used to fill missing data. Traces led to a small electronics refurbisher in Croydon where components had been reverse-engineered and sold to a shadow network. International leads traced circuit boards to a supplier in Shenzhen and a payments trail through Naples. At trial, jurors watched reconstructed minutes, CCTV with gaps, and smartphone audio stretched and compressed. The narrative that emerged was less a single murder than a new criminal specialty: the manufacture of plausible memories to create alibis, to frame, to erase. Prosecutors argued Moretti had been hired to stage the scene. Defense said he was a convenient scapegoat in a conspiracy that included technologists and fixers. The judge, presiding over evidence that blurred human recollection and algorithmic interpolation, instructed the jury on a truth the courtroom had not been built for: memory can be both witness and weapon. Moretti was convicted of manslaughter. 3 technicians were convicted of undermining evidence and aiding fraud. The verdict split opinion. Parliament convened emergency hearings. The Home Office commissioned a report. By 2025, amendments to the Criminal Evidence Code restricted the unilateral use of neural reconstruction devices. A register for mnemonic priors was created, and the Crown required court-appointed independent auditors for any neural-derived evidence. In documentary interviews years later, Dr. Carter described that Tuesday as a moral cleft. Detective Patel said the case forced policing to confront a new frontier: not only what people did, but what machines could make them remember. Shoreditch changed. Galleries upgraded physical security. Journalists wrote about the ethics of remembering. The Shoreditch Frame, as papers called it, became a cautionary historical incident, a crime that looked like old greed but used new ways of rewriting what had happened, and, for a while, what anyone could be made to believe.